Hey guys, it's Mario2582 here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to beat Kled. So the main three things we're going to be talking about is first when he's unmounted, the recharge rate of his rage bar or his courage bar. Basically the difference between how much regen he gets when he attacks minions versus when he attacks champs. Then the second thing is going to be how his W works and the buff he gets from his W, very powerful buff. And lastly, we're going to be talking about his dash, basically. And I'm going to be playing Nico in this video, so some of the concepts such as kiting are going to be a little bit different for melee champs, and I'll explain what the differences are, but the information is really important regardless. Very, very useful information. You know, like an example of it could be, for example, kiting. When you have to kite as a range champ, it could translate into doing more short trading on melee champs, forcing a short trade and then being able to back out. Or maybe you're lucky enough and you're playing a melee champ that has some sort of range, and then at that point you could just keep your distance. You know, so there's a couple of different things, and I'll explain them basically as we go through what the differences are. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is how fast he charges his rage bar. So basically he has 100 courage total here from the wiki, and he gets 15 courage when attacking an enemy champ, aka you, and he only gets 4 courage for a minion kill. In other words, while he's auto-attacking minions, he doesn't actually regen any courage for his rage bar. He only gets them when he kills a minion, when he gets a last hit, basically. So if you're looking at these two values, this 15 right here, I'm basically attacking enemy champ, and the 4 when he gets a minion kill, and you're thinking these are drastically different, it's because they are. Basically, if Kled is able to auto-attack enemy champs, he'll almost immediately be able to remount onto his mounted form, right? He'll almost immediately be able to get the whole second HP bar back and be able to use it again. And in comparison, if he's only left CSing, it'll take him way too long to actually remount, to the point where he'll lose a lot of CS or get chunked really, really low, or both, and then maybe die as well. He basically is too weak of a champ unless he's mounted. In fact, the only actual strength that his unmounted state has is the ability to remount. But if you just take the base champ without the ability to remount, it's extremely weak. It's probably the weakest form of champ of anything in the game, basically. So you have to think here, Kled's whole objective while he's in his unmounted state is to be able to hit you with basic attacks or his Q. His Q also gives him courage, basically. It refills his bar. He doesn't want to be stuck there hitting minions because he'll never remount, he'll take too much damage, he'll go down too much CS, he'll basically lose the lane slowly. He wants to hit you. And you, on the other hand, you want to not get hit by Kled so that he never gets to remount. So as a range champ, you basically want to stay as far away from him as possible, at your literal max range, at the limit of wherever your range is for your ability that you're going to be using, your Q usually. You just want to be as far away as possible, no matter how close he gets. That way you guarantee that he can never hit you and regain his rage bar. The second you let him get too close and let him hit you is the second you lose the lane, because he'll just mount again, and at that point you're going up against like a third health bar, basically. And the way Kled usually does this is by baiting you out with his Q. Kled's Q throws those little pellets forward, kind of like Graves' R, but it also sends him dashing backwards. It's almost the same ability as Graves' R, except obviously it does a lot less damage. And one champ that I think is very similar that you can compare it to that tries to bait like this with this ability is someone like Akali with her E. Both Kled with his Q and Akali with her E, they try and do the exact same thing. They try and basically walk in a little bit too close to you inside your range, to the point where you think, oh shit, I can hit them, let me walk up a bit. And then the second you walk up to try and hit them, to try and maximize your punish, basically, that's when Kled presses his Q or Akali presses her E, and they basically get maximum value from it because they get you to walk up, and then they get to land their ability and not get hit, because essentially by taking the bait you get close enough to get hit by their ability. that's what Kled tries to do, and that's a lot of times how he regens his bar. So you have to keep in mind that he's going to try and do that with his Q. And just stay, like I said, max range, absolute max range is possible no matter what. So for melee champs, this is a little bit different. Obviously you can't really kite with melee champs. You know, there's only a couple melee champs that have like long range abilities, things like Zed, that have these long range shadow combos. But usually melee champs don't have the luxury of just staying a million years away. But where they do shine is that their all-in is way stronger than ranged champs. So usually you're trying to do one of two things as a melee champ when he's dismounted. You're either trying to force a really fast short trade where you can just get immediate burst and then get out. You know, champs like Riven are very good with this because of her CC. She can very easily force a short trade on dismounted Kled and then just get out. And then on the second time she goes in, she pretty much has the all-in ready, right? And so basically with every champ, you're gonna want to either force a short trade and then get ready to all-in on the second window, or if you're able to all-in him and kill him fast enough, basically immediately before he gets any auto attacks, then you can just go for the all-in. I mean, some champs like Talon, Zed, you know, they have ways to basically just get the hit as fast as possible and basically get hit only like once or twice, you know. So you're pretty much going to guarantee your full burst without getting auto attacked. Because like I said, the second you get auto attacked while he's dismounted, you'll give him the 15 courage bar per attack and he'll just remount instantly. So no matter what you do, basically, you can only get hit like once or twice before you back away, whether that's short trading once and then being ready to all in on the second window, or if you can all in on the first window fast enough without getting hit by Kled, then you can just go for that. A lot of champs can force short trades, by the way. People don't tend to notice, but you know, like harassing or trading is very different from forcing a short trade. When I say forcing a short trade, I mean literally concentrating all your bursts into a very short, like literally the shortest amount of possible trade you can make. And yeah, basically I just want to say pretty much every melee champ can short trade. You'd be surprised, but usually you'll just be able to all in, so it's not a big deal. And one of the main ways he gets to mount almost instantly when it seems like he auto attacks a lot is his W. Which leads us to our next point, which is Kled's W and how it works. So Kled's W basically empowers his next 4 basic attacks for a total duration of 4 seconds total, where he gets a huge attack speed buff and he deals bonus damage. So basically, if you ever see Kled sometimes auto attack extremely fast and you're like, how does he do that? It's because of this W. It has a cooldown of 14 to 8 seconds. And basically, every time it's up, he gets this attack speed steroid for his next 4 attacks. And so the basic idea is, if Kled all-ins another champ and his W's up, he will always win because of how powerful this ability is. Guaranteeing the 4 auto attacks without a defense ready from the enemy champ just means Kled will win. And there's a couple of weaknesses to this ability. The smallest one is that there's a timer on this after he uses his first auto. So basically, once he autos once, the buff will run out in 4 seconds no matter what he does. So if he just hits once and then he's not able to auto attack again, then it'll just run out in 4 seconds regardless of whether he uses his next 4 autos or not. And this basically means that it's kitable after you get hit by the first one. So say Kled finds a window to trade with you and he has his W up and he starts auto attacking you, and right after the first one you stun him or you dash away and you manage to get out somehow, you know, either by CC or by dashing away. This basically means he won't be able to use his whole ability. He'll only get 1 auto out of it, and that's one way to beat it. This is mostly what you have to deal with melee champs, because melee champs obviously have to get close. Like I said, very little melee champs have the luxury that Zed has to be able to trade from range. So usually melee champs have to get pretty close, and you're gonna have to basically bait Kled to all in you with this ability up, and then dash away or CC him so that he can't make use of the full 4 auto attacks and he's only able to use 1 or 2. The second weakness to this ability, which is the one that range champs can make the most use of, is that he's forced to use this ability no matter what. Basically, whenever this ability comes up, he has to spend it on something on his next auto attack. His next auto attack will guaranteed receive the buff whether he wants to or not. It's kind of like Vex's passive. Vex's rage bar basically fills up over time, and once she has her fear bar completely up, it turns red, and then her next basic ability will consume the mark to fear enemy champs. And Vex doesn't have a way to use a basic ability without triggering the fear. Even if she wants to save the fear for a special case use, she can't actually do that. No matter what she does, her next basic ability will consume the mark and trigger the fear. So she can't save the fear for her second basic ability or her third. It's the exact same idea with Kled. He can't just save this buff for his second auto or his third auto. As soon as he has this ability off cooldown, his next auto will automatically consume it. And this means that as a ranged champ, you can just stay as far away from him as possible and force him to basically use this on minions. If you just keep harassing him and trading with him from range, he'll eventually be forced to use his buff on minions because he's going to want to CS, he's going to want to hit the minions at some point. And that shit is impossible to see. Literally, it's a little white fucking yellow thing that lights up, but it's extremely hard to see when his W comes back up. So basically, if you're wondering when does this shit come back up, you just have to assume if Kled hasn't fought you in a long time that it's up. That's pretty much it, because it's really hard to tell when it comes back up. They could not have made the indicator smaller, the visual effect. And as long as you keep max distance versus him, like I've been saying this whole time, you shouldn't have a problem basically not giving him a good all-in window. Which leads us to our final point, which is his dash, his E. So this shit is actually pretty broken. Basically he dashes once forwards in a line, and if the dash gets close enough to you, it marks you and he goes through you, and then he can recast it to dash towards the mark again. This basically means that if he dashes in a line and he hits you, he's guaranteed gonna have the second one to stay on top of you. And Kled's regular Q is a skill shot, but I find out with high elo Kleds, you know, like GM plus Kled players, they're able to guarantee the Q on you no matter what with the dash. I don't know how they throw it, if it's QE or EQ or what exactly it is they do, but I notice in, you know, below like Grandmasters, like Masters and below, a lot of times you could just dodge Kled's Q. But I notice in Grandmaster and above, those, you know, when you play versus those Kled 1 tricks, they're able to just guarantee the Q off of the dash 100% of the time. And so this basically means you absolutely cannot get anywhere near Kled. And basically remember at the start of the video when you guys saw me die to Kled, that's because I was at absolute max range from Kled as a ranged champ. And then I decided to go like 90% max range because I thought he was trolling. I thought, oh shit, he went a little close. I want to maximize my punish, right? I want to hit him as he's, you know, I want to hit him with something, trade with him, and then I want to keep hitting him on the back while he's running away. So to maximize that trade, I walked up, I closed the gap a little from 100% max range to 90% max range. And then that's when he found the window to all in. That's when he found the range. And so the lesson here is basically you have to always respect Kled. Regardless of his rank, regardless of whether he's in his mini form, unmounted form, or if he's actually mounted, you have to respect him. When he's unmounted, so many people just mess up, become absolute apes. They just walk up to Kled and they just let Kled hit them for free. And like we went over in the first point, Kled gets his remount insanely fast if he just hits an enemy champ. You can't let him do that, right? So you have to respect him in his unmounted state. And also remember to not get baited into his unmounted Q where he walks up into you a little bit and then boom, he graves ults you basically. You know, he throws a spell forward and it dashes himself backwards so that you get baited into coming close to him and then you get hit and he gets away with the mini dash, right? That gives him courage back. It's the same thing as getting auto attacked. You have to respect him so that if you're max range, you're never going to even give him the opportunity. And again here with the dash, respect him so that you're never in range to get dashed on. Even if you think, oh, I can go to 90% to maximize my trade, don't. Just stay at 100%. If you stay at 100% range, there's literally no way he can all in you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment down below, send me some feedback on what you guys thought about the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos, check out my Twitch channel. I stream some sick gameplay once a month, once a year, some shit. But check me out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.